Hey Hassan, how you doing? Hope you're well, hope you're well. Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Um, well, you managed to catch any of the moves from the watch list? Had a couple play out. Gold was pretty perfect. GJ was pretty inch perfect as well, as you can see. Morning, morning. Morning, Whitney. Morning, DV. Alright, morning, Adams. Yeah, good, thanks. Hope you're doing well. So we had a nice couple of trades play out. Obviously, you can see XAU USD. So, I don't really like setting limit orders, so I kind of stayed awake for this one last night. Juju was on the school run at the time, so the move after so I need to set limits, low risk, but still catch the trade. Yeah, I know. Like, I didn't catch GJ, to be fair, because I was up waiting for gold last night, and then I was asleep for GJ. To be fair, I wasn't awake. But again, GJ, it's not the end of the world, because if we look at GJ for example, and this is where it's about being patient. Right? Okay, GJ's here. This would have been our perfect entry, absolutely. But overall, as we discussed on the weekly watch list, what's our kind of range and target we're working with? This is our up move that caused a break of this 4-hour structure, as we can see. So price has mitigated that. That change of character is giving us confluence that we've entered a pullback. We've had the hourly shift, so we've entered a pullback on the 4-hour. So we know there's unmitigated areas of demand that are sitting down here. We have demand sitting over here. We have demand sitting where I've marked, which aligns more with our fib area. So there's definite possibilities for price to continue pushing down here. So ideally, what I would like to see is we see a break of this, and we've left all of that imbalance for price to continue up and catch the next one. So it's about being patient. If you missed it, like I missed it as well, and you could perfectly see, look at that perfect rejection of how we had it marked, and price came into here. Now again, the entry could have been at the top of this, but personally, I think the retest of this area is much better, because price pushed into this zone. Now on a 15-minute chart, you can see we still have some inefficiency here. And again, it goes back to it. Not every bit of imbalance needs to be mitigated. We always need to remember that. You got to look at look on higher time frame. On a 30-minute time frame, there's the last bit of imbalance, and price has mitigated that. Look at the hourly time frame. There's the last bit of imbalance. So higher time frame confluences override lower time frame. So it's not always about saying, oh, price has come here, I want to wait for price to push up. When price came back into this area, now you can probably see it on a 5-minute as well. What did we have? We had a minor level of demand here, which got broken through, and then we had this level of demand which was respected, but price failed to break above this. So what did price do? Price just came into this area of supply. Now you could see, like, look at that inch perfect closure. So if that was me looking at trading that, you just wait on a 5-minute and you see that pin bar closure, whether you take it there or you see the next bearish rejection candle. Because what's that telling you? That's telling us that we're already in this higher time frame area of reversal, based on everything else we've discussed here already. The change of character, all of this was the retracement. So this is a perfect area of reversal for us. But we can also see that there's inefficiency resting above here, slight bit of inefficiency. So in order to kind of combat that, we can just wait for the rejection, and you see the rejection. Demand fails here, demand gets respected, price comes into supply. Now what's the objective of demand? The objective of demand is to continue pushing price higher and create new highs, but price failed to do that here. So with price failing to do that, and again price pretty much perfectly closing within our zone, we get a weak bullish candle, and then you get this strong rejection, and there at that point could be your entry, and just have your stops above that swing high. And then what should be TP1? Now for me, always TP1, even though we've got these lows, what you want to do is always take into account that price could reverse at any point. So of this lower high, where's the reversal area? It's this. Now what's price reacting to? There is an area of demand here which sits between here. So if we took risk off the table in terms of, like, I would be closing 70% on my position out over here at what, which is still a significant trade, that's 70 plus pips, and then move your stops to break even, because there's no reason for price to come all the way back up to this point, and then let the rest run, and you manage your trade. And again, having expectation of price continuing down into these lows and coming down to mitigate all of these areas of demand, if we see a break of this low, then we could just wait for the next retracement, if we get it, to continue down. So there's always going to be opportunities of taking trades. It's just about being sensible in how you manage that and how you kind of see that. So gold, again, like I said on the weekly watch list, gold was inch perfect. You can see, and this is the key thing to, you always need to look out for. Like gold, we had multiple confluences of gold. 4 hour, as you can see, has been perfectly bullish. It's a bit messed up. Let me just do this again. 4 hours being perfectly bullish. We get a closer above, pull back, closure above, pull back, closure above, pull back. Now obviously price has mitigated this higher time frame supply, so we could see price break out of this, and this was a reaction and continue higher with dollar weakness, or we could see price come back up here and then roll over. But what's the likelihood? Either way, the likelihood is price to come up here before it either does this or before it goes higher. So if that's the likelihood of price based on this uptrend, and again, why this region? Because this is our swing low and that's our swing high, and look, we perfectly come into this region. You get this wick down because price mitigates demand here at this low, and then after that you could see prices rallying to the upside. So we had high time frame confluence, And then what also can we see? We can also see all of this imbalance that was left by price. So if we now just flip this on its head and mark the high to the low, what's the reversal point of this? The reversal point, the likelihood reversal point, is this region. So if we know that that's the higher probability reversal area for price, then what do we need to wait for? We need to wait for some structure to form, you know. And that's where the lower time frame comes in. So we already know that where price tapped into here was the higher time frame area of demand, which was this here, which again, I'll just put this out. So price mitigated this hourly area of demand. So we already know we've reacted to that, and we also know that this is our fib area for our swing structure. So you could see price perfectly closed virtually within that. So when price has now done this, and price is selling off like this, even if price starts to do this, it's hard to get into a trade. Why? Because we've not formed any structure. Price could roll over at any point. So we need structure to form, and that's what happened here. You know, we had these equal lows. Listen, that GJ in gold, just one of those would have been your funded challenge. So you can see here we created these equal lows. But what did we do? We created structure here now, because if we mark this up, the low to the high, that's what, 70 pips, right? Close to 70 pips. So now when we had this retracement and then we broke structure, now in this downtrend, this is the new lower high, and that's the lower low. You know, so if that's the lower high, that's the lower low. Just delete this fib here. What did we get here? We got a perfect change of character. Now, what did price react to? Price reacted to an area of supply as a pullback. Now again, I'm not trading the pullback at all, because price doesn't have to come into this area. We need to always remember that. You know, sometimes support and resistance works. If you look at this, resistance, price comes down, price breaks above, support, but that's liquidity, right? That's liquidity. People that trade support and resistance, now sometimes price does do this. Price sometimes could come here and just continue higher and just never give us that retracement. Seen it many times. But does that mean I enter off of this? No, because it doesn't align with my rules. And it doesn't give me the risk to reward that I want. Why am I going to start? Even though you could see, you know, somebody would quite easily sit there and class this as a breaker structure to the top side. But when you have a higher time frame understanding and an expectation of where price is drawn towards, you're just patiently waiting. So I'm not trying to short this market at all, because it doesn't have to come into my zone. And many times I miss trades like that because they leave without me. But that's just the nature of it. I'm not in the markets to catch absolutely every trade. I just want to catch the setups that I know align with my rules. So you could perfectly see we build up liquidity here as well. And we get this, look at the strong bullish move up. So how many people who are just supply and demand traders would just put this as an area of demand and just wait for, like you can see price came down here and it wicked up and it closed within this zone. How many people would probably be looking for a buy because they've seen this like break above? But remember, this break above on a lower time frame, what do we look for? We look for a wick break. We never got a wick break. The body closure on a lower time frame is not sufficient. That's only high time frame body closure we require. So lower time frame, that wick is still higher than the previous, so we haven't actually broken highs. So again, you know, this is where it comes down to, how do you perceive and interpret structure? Some people would always look for body closure. If that works for them, that works for them. But the way we trade, that's still not a break above. It's still a downtrend, but you can see how that's market manipulation and people getting induced into taking buys and longs. So, you know, not only do we see a change of character, what do we see? We see an area of demand. Remember, guys, hit that like button if you've not done so. I'd appreciate it. So you can see we create this strong level of demand. You know, so not only do we get a change of character, not only do we tap into this higher time frame area of demand, we get a strong momentum shift. You know, that's key evidence buyers are coming into the market. And again, not only that, the higher time frame is still bullish. You know, this is the 4-hour pullback area, which is complete. So we should be expecting what we're trading with the overall trend, which you could see at this point is still to the top side. So all of these confluences going down to that lower time frame give us that confidence. Now again, I'm not sitting here trying to trade any of this down, but you could see, you know, so I kind of got in on the 3-minute. What did I want to see? All I wanted to see was a tapping of this demand and just a rejection here. You know, so as we tapped into this, and as this candle started to print, I'm in straight away. I don't need to wait for anything else. You know what's going to happen. My stops was, to be fair, slightly below this zone. Now if price comes back and taps me out, then it taps me out. You know, it is what it is. But you could see how that perfectly played out. You know, it inched perfectly, and that was on the weekly watch list. You know, it was absolutely inch perfect. Perfect tap in. Price continued higher. We start to range here. Now again, you know, this is a key area, because what do we have here? We have a build up of liquidity here, and we had liquidity built up here. Now you can see Asian range liquidity, topside liquidity gets swept out. Now on a 15-minute chart, what do we have? Now we've had a breaker structure here. And you could see what's price reacting to. You know, just the way it did over here. Price reacted to this supply and pulled back. What's price reacting to here? Perfect area of supply to pull back. Now, again, I'm not sitting there saying I want to short this, but what is a nice scenario here? You can see all of this imbalance and inefficiency. So price is slowly filling that. Now if I mark this swing low to the swing high, what do we see resting between this? We see inefficiency and imbalance between this area of below this area of liquidity. So now we have demand here, but if price comes and taps into this demand and just rockets off, so be it. It's not meeting my rules. I would not be entering here. And again, this is where just purely trying to trade supply and demand is a very dangerous game. I'm only looking to buy in an area of discount, which aligns with the fib. I'm not looking to be, you know, this is, for me personally, trading this is just being part of liquidity, because it's not a deep enough correction based upon how we read market structure. We can see liquidity resting below here. We can see inefficiency and imbalance here. So where's price likely to come down to? Now again, you could see here on a 5-minute chart, we have this last indecision candle, and then we had this rally to the upside. You know, so that aligns perfectly with our 15-minute level of demand. You know, price is efficient here. There's the last bit of inefficiency. So the likelihood is, if we can see price head back down towards here and just show any sign of rejection, what can we do? We can look to trade the next push to the upside and do what? Fill out this area of imbalance which again aligns with the 15-minute. You could see there's supply there. So price is slowly continuing higher to fill out this 15-minute imbalance. So what if we expect price to continue higher? What do we expect? You know, we had this structure form. We should be expecting to see a continuation of this, and then price might come here and roll over, or price might just continue higher until it gets into that fib area for us to then continue shorting. But it's not a coincidence how, you know, the stars just align when you have a certain way of trading and your criteria looks like it's being met. Hopefully that makes sense. Now you can see GJ perfect, you know, where's GJ reacting from? GJ is reacting from this unmitigated area of demand. You know, so it's we can kind of expect that at times, you know. That's just the nature of trading. It's gonna happen, you know. Price is reacting to a lower time frame, unmitigated area of demand. Now whether you look at it on a 30-minute, and this is where it's important about managing trades, you know, you can't just have, now price could come back up into this area and then roll over again, which is fine, but you want to manage your trade and take partials along the way. Like, you know, this is a prime area, aligns with demand and aligns with our fib, so it's a perfect area to take secure a load of your profits, you know, because 70 pips isn't a little bit of money, even on a smaller lot size. You know, if you've got a small account, for argument's sake, you know, it's still going to be probably a couple of $100 or pounds or whatever you trade in. So it's still pretty sufficient, and this is where it's important to understand that yes, we're overall expecting price to take out this low, but where is the path of resistance? Where can we see potential? Now I'm not saying price is going to reverse here, but we're seeing some reaction here. And again, as I say, you know, taking profits, you'll never go broke. So when you see price come into an area, a key area of so-called reversal potential, and you see demand sitting there, you absolutely want to secure partials, because what you don't want to be is you don't want to be overly arrogant when it comes to the markets, and only because we've had a change of character. And I'm saying the likelihood of price coming down here, yeah, that is a likely scenario, but it's not 100% scenario. So when you see something like this happen, why not secure profits? It's silly not to. Remember guys, if there's any pairs you want me to have a look at, feel free. Go through the watch list so far. What do we see? So AUD CAD, nothing yet. Like I've got here, you can clearly see we're in this area of demand, but here is our key fib area, and we have demand here and imbalance below. So if we do get a pullback into this level of supply, some shorts down into here is good. So nothing set up with this. Now AUD JPY, again, like I said, this was the key area. Either price is going to break to the top side and we pull back and we look to continue buying this up here, or price rolls over from here and then we could look to short. Because remember, what's the low point that needs to break in this? Is this low, and there's the high. That's market structure. This is all internal, you know. So if anyone, you know, I missed a buy opportunity here. You can see I caught a buy here into this area of supply, and you can see here we had a breaker structure there, and then we, you know, potential pullback off of this swing leg. But I obviously missed the buy over here. So price has reacted to supply, came back, and it's kind of just pretty much sideways now. So, you know, there's nothing here until the market doesn't give an overall direction. So again, AUD, NZD, we're just waiting for price to come into this area. I need to actually set an alert for this. You can see I've already preemptively marked my fib out at the 50% zone of this move. Now overall, we are bullish, but this is just a nice area. You know, we've taken out all of this liquidity here. This is a nice area, and what can we see? We can see a change of character here, right? Now the high probability trade is if we get a retracement back into here, you know, you don't have to take the short, but a trade back into here for a continuation is continuing with the overall trend. You know why? Because you could see here, we clearly broke above all of these highs, and then as I covered off in the watch list, you could see price perfectly came into our fib area, and then we started to push to the upside. Now again, we're not just going to move in one direction. Here's our higher high, there's our higher low. Now again, not a coincidence. Where does price react from? Boom, perfect, our fib. So that's on the daily, right? Come down to 4 hour. Now you can see here, you know, price comes down, we get a retracement internal structure, we get a slight push above, but then we start to kind of consolidate here, and then this is the high that sweeps all of these lows and mitigates that fib level perfectly. Like, you know, look at that inch perfect. Now again, this is just a prime example. You know, what do we have? We have demand that's sitting over here. So price doesn't, it just misses this, but what does it do? It fills out all of the inefficiency. You could say we've got demand resting down here, but there shouldn't be an expectation of price having to come all the way down here, you know, because this is the key area of reversal. So price perfectly came into this area and then started to push off. But where's the higher time? Where's the confidence in buyers? The confidence in buyers is after this downtrend happened, you could see prices printing lower lows, lower highs, coming down here, created this liquidity, swept to the bottom. Now, how many people would be seeing this as support? You know, and then you could flip it on its head. Support, 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 breakthrough, sweep the liquidity, mitigate that area, resistance, 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 boom, sweep the liquidity and continue higher. Why? Because we understand structure. So we're not sitting there getting caught up with this support and resistance. You know, now again, I'm not saying people that buy off of support, you know, as long as you're like closing back up at this resistance range, you're still making profits. Sorry guys, give me a sec. Sorry guys, I'm back. So yeah, again, you know, people that would potentially trade a range would have made some money here. But it goes back to the same thing, like, when is this going to shift? When is this going to break? You just don't know. Like, if you caught it here, you probably made some money. If you caught it here, you probably made some money. If you caught it here, you probably made some money. But if you tried to catch it here, boom, you're out. And how many people were potentially looking at this as, you know, at this point, double bottom for a continuation, triple bottom for a continuation, expecting price to this support to be held and price to continue higher. So it's loads of orders sitting below this area. So we sweep that, we perfectly come into our fib area, and then we get a decisive change of character. You know, that's telling us that this pullback is now complete. Now above here, you could see We have supply here, we have unmitigated supply and imbalance, unmitigated supply and imbalance. But what we're expecting price to overall take out this weak high. You know, why is this a weak high? Because what's the purpose of this in a downtrend is to take out the previous low and create a new lower low. So where this is so far failed to do this, it's a weak high, so we should be expecting the price to continue higher. Now, this is one leg of price action. Sorry guys, give me 1 second. So this is, you could clearly see one leg of price action. So we know that price doesn't move in one direction, and it's not coincidence. I've already preemptively marked this area of supply. So what's supply going to do in an uptrend? It's going to be the key catalyst for a pullback. You know, so we don't need to try sitting there guessing where does the pullback potentially come from. The likelihood of pullback is going to come from this area of supply. And again, you can see I've marked that fib area, 4-hour chart, perfect level of inefficiency and imbalance. What do we also have? Relatively equal lows here. Liquidity. So the likelihood of price selling off is going to be from here down into this region before the next push up. And this is where the patience comes into it. You know, it's not going to be that every time. Now look at GJ. What did I say? You know, so you can't be sitting there and just, you know, you got to be patient at times. Like something like this, if you don't decide to take a short, now by no means anyone has to take a short. Personally, I would say that the buy is better. I'm just going to see how price does react from this area. But overall, we know price has shifted bullish now. So looking for bullish setups is a lot better. Now this might take a couple of days to play out to come down into this zone. But when it does, you know, you got a nice high probability trading setup. Now you could see here perfectly, even on a 1-hour chart, demand mitigated, demand mitigated. So there's no real reason for price to continue down from this point, and there's no inefficiency in price below. So where's the last level of demand? Look at that indecision candle. Perfectly aligns with our fib, so expecting price to come down here and continue pushing up from this point. AUD USD is kind of like no man's land, nothing really for us to focus on. Now you can see DXY. Now, you know, DXY, we have this low, which I'm expecting price to take. But you can see this is an area of demand, which is ideal, causing a pullback. You know, we got a 4-hour breaker structure here. Now you can see this was the low, high. We're at the base of this. Now the likelihood is price is taking out this low. So we have these 4-hour break structures, which price perfectly is maintained. Perfectly maintained. Now we have this area of supply. So price could absolutely come into this, tap into that, or just mitigate this, which is close enough to our fib, and then start to sell off. You know, which, what does that give us? That gives us bearish dollar. You know, this is just a pullback. I'm not expecting the dollar to like shift completely from this point. Now again, I said last week, why did we have this rally on Friday? You know, because the Fed, one of the Feds came out and spoke and mentioned it was a bit bullish about the next rate hike, and that was the reaction from the market. But the expectation is still just another rate hike. You know, some forecasters were predicting it would be a pause. So with them coming out and potentially saying we are going to rate hike, that's just some bullish momentum for the dollar, and it's a reaction off of demand. Perfectly see this level of demand, and it's just a pullback. You know, we decisively took out that 4-hour structure. Again, what did we come to? You could perfectly see here, came into supply, sold off, came into supply, rejected and sold off. What do we have here? Supply, same expectation. And what is that going to allow us to do? The likes of gold and stuff. So if the dollar, now again, like I say, I use this just as an overall guide. I do not take my trade entries. Some people I know that do that, really look at DXY and take their trade entries based on DXY. I don't. For me, it's just an overall gauge. The overall gauge is some pullback. That's why there's bullish momentum for the dollar. Now, that just correlates nicely with the likes of AUD USD. You know, price reacted from supply. We kind of created this on a 4-hour. We created these equal highs here, but overall you can see we shifted bullish here. So if the expectation is for the dollar to weaken and that dollar's strength has caused this pullback, then once price gets here, we could probably expect something like this to happen. So that's, you know, how you really want to be, or how I personally use DXY. I don't really sit there using it as I'm looking at DXY at the point of entering another trade. No, I just have it as an overall confluence. Right, what else do we have? Let's go. What else do we have? CAD, JPY. So CAD, you can see we tapped into that. So we've tapped into that area of supply, but again, you know, we've not. All we've done is react to this area of demand. So we either want to see a new high punched in and then a change of character for us to short. As it stands, you know, there's nothing. The trend is just upwards. But the good thing we have done is we've started to form some lower time frame structure here. Now AUD, Euro AUD. You can see price has still not mitigated this area of supply. It is in that fib area of reversal. But you can see we've not shifted bearish yet. So I would personally be waiting to see, right, okay, on the hourly, can we come in and tap in this supply? And plus, you can see as it sits, why has price reacted from here? Clearly see, you know, we had this pullback here, but this is minor in comparison to the entire move. But again, it is still structure that we formed, because if you see up over here, this is like 91 pips off a pullback. So this is like the entire swing leg. Sorry, where am I going? This is the entire swing leg, but price has kind of reacted to this area of demand here. But we have structure formed here, and we had a perfect change of character over here. So, you know, we're probably engineering some liquidity here. Now again, even though this is within the fib confluence, No worries, Hassan. Why would I not look to short from here? Because hourly demand hasn't been mitigated and we have inefficiency there. You know, 45 minutes, 30 minutes, 15 minutes. You can see all of this inefficiency above. So we at least need to mitigate the hourly supply. You know, we haven't mitigated any supply yet. So I'm not just going to start shorting from this point. You know, you at least want price to come into this region here. And then even if you should take a trade here, you know, you'd still need like a decent sized stop loss to cover the highs of this. Now look at Euro USD. You know, we had a bounce off of this zone. Now, clearly that area didn't hold. Why? Because price is still in that 4-hour pullback. So, you know, you always need to see. And we didn't form any structure here. So there's no, even though we've got demand sitting here, it doesn't mean prices has to. We still have this perfect area over here that can be created. So right now you could see on a 15-minute chart. And this is looking quite good actually. Breaker structure. Had this strong push up. We never closed above this. You could see here we never closed above this. So what I would like to see is this is still the previous high. And here's our low. We're getting some strong momentum here. And again, where did price push down from? Price pushed down from this area of supply. So if we can get a break above that and a pullback, we could look at continuation trades. So this is looking good, guys. Now again, overall, there's still a downside to this in my opinion. Like, you know, we got all of this imbalance. You could see there's our 4-hour pullback range. There's lots of downside still in this. But again, you know, we have this move down, see a retracement before the next push down. So again, goes back to it again, whether you decide to take the buy back up into this region and then short it, or whether you just personally decide to wait for the short. There's no right or wrong. You know, it's personal preference in what you decide to do. But again, you know, it's very tempting to sit here and be like, yeah, we created this low, we nearly broke this high, and now price is reacting to this demand and it's pushing higher, let me just enter here. But you don't want to do that, you know, because price could quite easily, if price here had broken above this and had a change of character, then we could be sitting there and saying, we have demand sitting at the base of this. And you could see we had this strong push up. As price rejects here, we could have got in here, and what would have been, we've been up at the moment 18 pips, but we never broke above these highs. Clearly can see that. So we need to see a break above that, and then if we can get a retracement, we can look to catch that move. One second, sorry guys. So this is so far what is gold pushed up from our zone of entry, 180 pips. Look at GJ coming back, but what did GJ sell off from our zone? Over. No escaping from my mind, but low key. You know that you one of a kind, wanna show me, baby, the things you feel do with that body, yo. Show up everywhere that I be, yo. All you wanna do is party, yo. I know, I know. You are the type that they warn me about, you.
When I'm with you, all the wrong feels so right, yeah. She the real thing, but she cold-hearted like Greenland. Church girl moving like a queen pen. Hey, nyama tengwe olo, nyama tengwe o, nyama tende olo, nyama tende o. She said, let me know when you're ready for me, ready for me, ready for me. She said, let me know when you're ready for me, ready for me, ready for me, yeah. Nyama tengwe olo, nyama tengwe o, nyama tende olo, nyama tende o. Fashionably late on purpose, all eyes on you. Fashionably late. Wind up on the place now.
Now GU's another one. You can see here we've created some good structure. Break a structure here.
It's a roller coaster when we make love. Sometimes I don't really know where I have you. Feels like someday you could flip us. She the real thing, but she cold-hearted like Greenland. Church girl moving like a queen pen.
Now there's no entry here right now. You know, we had this strong break. Price is just pulling back. We could see another break. So again, we need to see a change of character here. Now, you could see here, you know, you could technically say, what was this as a 20 pips? So you could say this was a change of character, which it was. But again, like you want to see the multi-time frame, you could see on the hourly, we had supply here. Price failed to break above that. So, you know, you got to take the change of character with a bit of grain of salt. You can't always just be like, oh, I'm entering, and that's where at least you want to see some bullish momentum. You can see if we mark this low and the high, I was actually looking at this morning for a potential entry here, because again on the 4-hour time frame, this is the key fib area of the next continuation push to the upside. So it's a good area to buy from, but you could see as price came down, we just broke through this, and there was no like clear demand here. Price was all efficient, so there was no entry. You know, there was no bullish scenario here for me to look at enter. Like at this point, if there was an entry for me, it would have had to be something like this. A reaction to that back here, and then look to take this up. You know, this is where it's like you got to be managing your trade and be mindful and be patient. Like we had strong rejection that this broke through our fib zone, and then you had this weak bullish candles. Now you can see we had this price rejected, and then look at that. Next one just starts to break down. So you got to be patient, and then what do we get? We get a break of structure. Now on the left, you know, we could see there's some inefficiency and imbalance resting here. So price might want to come to the extreme of this on a lower time frame. Just gonna delete this. So now that's where we're currently sitting. Now, if we go onto a 4-hour chart, you can see price is still within that area of reversal to continue pushing higher. You know, but we want to see that lower time frame shift now. Now we've seen structure formed. We've seen this happen. So either price is going to do two things. It's going to come to this area of supply and create a new low. Now why do I have it marked over here? Because on a 15-minute, we do have this area of demand over here. Now it doesn't have to come down to this point. I've just got this, that if price breaks structure and comes down here, this is I'm personally not looking to buy from this point, but this is just a good area for me to keep an eye on, that we could see a change of character from here. You know, because in the same breath we need to realize that we have inefficiency here. Price is tapped into this significant daily area of supply, so we could see prices roll over here. It doesn't have to come up and fill this out before it sells off. The likelihood is it's going to do that, in my opinion, but there's no guarantee that it has to do that. You know, so you could see we're still kind of within our fib zone on the higher time frame. So it's just a game of being patient. You know, is this supply going to hold up and create a new low and do this and then do this? Or if we get a change of character here, I'll just wait for a retracement, because what have we created here? Imbalance. Demand. This isn't demand yet. Demand is only going to be active if it breaks above this high. So, you know, these are the things like, just be patient. Just be patient. Now, Nas is a trade that I'm in. I call this on the weekly watch list as well. So you can see my entry was here based on price tapping into that. Started to come down, push up, and it started to come down. So, you know, it's a bit, you know, I'm not really happy with how it's been moving. So I might just close some partials, you know, because ideally we have created some liquidity here and here. We kind of took that back out, respected this area, and kind of came down. But we are in this area of demand. Maybe I'll just leave it and just let it move my stops to break even and just see how it runs, or just leave it as is. So US30 hasn't come back into that pullback area yet. Kind of want to set an alert here for this one. Remember guys, if you have small accounts, I would always recommend don't trade US30. You know, you're better off trading NAS or S&P 500 from an indice perspective. You really do want to have a good sized trading account in order to trade US30. Otherwise, it's very easy to blow your account. Any questions, guys? Any charts you want me to have a look at? Just mention it. Do we have any news today? Let's have a look. So, yeah, we have USD news at 1:30. Empire State Manufacturing. That's the only high impact news today. Well, red folder news, which, based on last time, you know, it missed forecast. So last forecast was -7.9 and we got -24.6. Forecast this time is. So let's just have a look at this from an educational perspective. So the last one was on 15th of March. Let's see gold. Don't want to do that.
Took a long time to make you. Yeah, I know that you've been here before. It's different this time. You have me on your side. Follow me.
So it's like this candle here. So 1:30. Yeah, so you could see we originally had a push down on gold and then price pushed up. So nothing great overall. Obviously price continued bullish, so I'm not expecting any major reaction from that news, in all fairness.
I know that you've been here before. It's different this time. You have me on your side. Follow me. I go show you the way. Follow me. show you the way. Oh, c'est la vie. No movie. I go show you the way. Oh, follow me. Follow me. I go show you the way. Oh. Searching, yeah. You've been searching in the wrong place. Girl, you've been searching, yeah. You've been searching in the wrong place, yeah. I know that you've been here before, it's different this time. You have me on your side. Follow me, I go show you the way. Oh, follow me, I go show you the way. Oh, c'est la vie. No movie, I go show you the way. Oh, follow me, I go show you the way. Oh, I'ma be right here, girl, right next to you. Surfing in the wrong way. You been searching, yeah. In the wrong place, yeah.
So what else is there? Just waiting for some of these pairs to play out, in all fairness.
Hey, when it come to you, pistol like buzz, issue with trust. Won't let no one get a piece of your love. Yeah, base it on loyalty, base it on us. I ain't the picture perfect type, but I'm making it up. You say you want a bad flip it, I can't get enough. I'm rich and love, but when I'm with you, I'm bitter as fuck. Forbidden fruit on apple juice, can I sip on the cup? Mix it with some 1942 and I'm hitting you up. Girl, you chosen, fuck it up when you bust wide open. It's the ocean, I'm just imposing that you give it to me and just me only. Yeah, girl, you chosen. Fuck it up.
It's like quiet chat today. It's like everyone's sleeping on the Monday morning.
That you give it to me and just me only.
Cause you chosen. Sound is NDA, no, you can't bring no phones in. We walk in and they're like, what's all that commotion? No, he can't step up foot in here if we don't know him. Treat you special, girl, I hit you with the roses. Can't stand your boyfriend, he too controlling. You get along better with me. Fuck it up when you bust wide open.
Girl, you chosen. Fuck it up when you bust wide open. It's the ocean, I'm just imposing that you give it to me and just me only. Yeah, girl, you chosen. Fuck it up when you bust wide open. It's the ocean, I'm just imposing that you give it to me and just me only.
Yeah, I fuck with her. Yeah, brand new rollie got you frozen. 2 more shots, got that pussy wide open. Said she wanna go another round, don't provoke him. Shorty up and down on the pole like she voting. I like when you talk that shit to me. Bitches ain't nothing new, but you know how to do it to me. Ass up, face down, we can make a little movie. On the rapper, you the groupie, got it wetter than jacuzzi. She love me like Lucy. I'm a dog like Snoopy. Getting head under sheets and you sweating out your weed. Rich nigga, I ain't cheap when I like what I see.
Girl, you chosen. Fuck it up when you bust wide open. It's the ocean, I'm just imposing that you give it to me and just me only. Yeah, girl, you chosen. Fuck it up when you bust wide open. It's the ocean, I'm just imposing that you give it to me and just me only.
This is a good place to short Bitcoin in all fairness if you trade crypto. Perfect supply. Price is rejected here. Look how many days. Interesting. Right guys, that's going to be me, so have a good one. Hopefully you took something away from that, and I'll catch up with you guys soon. Take care.